The Zarthal Imperial fleet moved through space like a dark cloud. Their ships numbered in the thousands, each one larger than the biggest building on Earth. Commander Vex 9 stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching the blue planet grow bigger on the screen. "Another primitive world," he said to his second officer. Just like all the others, Vex 9 had conquered 72 planets in his long career. This would be number 73. His scanner showed the humans had only just discovered nuclear power. They could barely reach their moon. They would surrender quickly, as all weak races did. Down on Earth, Dr. Elizabeth Morgan was having her coffee at the Deep Space Monitoring Station in Nevada. She worked the night shift, watching for Yi signals from space. The large radio telescopes moved slowly, searching the stars for any sign of life. At 3:17 a.m., her equipment suddenly came alive with warnings. Strange energy readings appeared on every monitor. Elizabeth spilled her coffee as she rushed to check the data. "Kevin, get over here now," she shouted to her assistant. Kevin Peterson ran over, his shoes untied and glasses slightly crooked. "What's wrong?" "Look at these readings. There's something out there. Something big." Elizabeth pointed to the screens showing massive energy, signatures near Jupiter. Within 2 hours, the Pentagon was on the line. General William Hayes listened carefully as Elizabeth explained what they had found. He didn't like what he heard. "How many ships?" he asked. "We estimate at least 1,500, sir. Maybe more." "They're too far away to be certain," Elizabeth replied. 1,500? The general went quiet for a moment. "Alert everyone. Get the president on the line. Code Black." All over the world, alarms rang in secret defense facilities. No one had expected this day would actually come. The Zarthal made their standard announcement. Their message was simple, sent in all Earth languages at once. "People of this planet, we are the Zarthal Imperial Fleet. You have 1 day to surrender completely. Lay down all weapons. Prepare for occupation. Resist and you will be destroyed." In the United Nations building in New York, delegates gathered in emergency session. The Secretary General called for calm, but panic was spreading. Television networks worldwide broadcast the alien message on repeat. People gathered in the streets, some praying, others stockpiling supplies. Captain Ryan Blake received orders to report to Andrews Air Force Base immediately. He was one of Earth's best pilots, though he didn't know why they needed him for an alien invasion. His wife, Mary, packed his bag while their 2 children stood in the doorway, confused and scared. "Will you be back soon, Dad?" his daughter Amy asked. "Of course, sweetheart. Dad has to go help keep us safe," he said, not sure if he was telling the truth. At NASA's Kennedy Space Center, engineer Patricia Graham was called out of bed. She found Commander Johnson waiting for her at Mission Control. "Pat, we need you to work on Project SHIELD," Johnson said. "Top secret until now. We've been preparing for this." "Preparing for what?" "An invasion. We've had the tech ready for years. We just never thought we'd need it." In small towns across America, people responded in their own ways. Lisa Chen closed her grocery store early and organized her neighborhood. She made lists of supplies and skills. Frank Murphy, the retired teacher, started teaching basic first aid to anyone who would listen. The day passed slowly. Earth's leaders argued about what to do. Some wanted to surrender immediately. Others wanted to fight. The public was divided. Religious leaders gave different messages. Some said this was the end times. Others said Earth should welcome the aliens with peace. As the deadline approached, the Zarthal fleet moved closer. Now they could see Earth clearly. Their scanners showed a planet full of life with large cities and millions of beings. They had seen it all before. "Sir, they're sending another message," a junior officer reported to Vex 9. "What do they say? Do they beg for mercy?" "No, sir, they say they decline." Vex 9 stared at the screen. "They decline?" "Those were their exact words, sir." The commander felt something he hadn't felt in centuries. Surprise. No race had ever simply declined their offer. They begged, they pleaded, they tried to bargain. But decline? It made no sense. The deadline passed. The Zarthal waited for fear to spread. They expected messages of panic. but Earth went silent. No more communications came from the planet. 3 days passed. The Zarthal fleet waited at the edge of Earth's solar system. Their sensors detected strange energy readings from the planet's surface. Buildings and structures that hadn't been visible before suddenly appeared on their scans. "What are they doing down there?" Vex 9 wondered aloud. Back on Earth, people were working around the clock. Secret bases that had been hidden for decades now opened. Military personnel moved equipment that had been stored for years. Scientists activated systems they had only tested in simulation. In Area 51, Dr. Amy Johnson activated the prototype shield generator for the first time. The technology came from studying alien crashes over 70 years. They had reverse-engineered the systems, improved them, made them stronger. "Generators are online," she reported. All systems nominal. Martin Rodriguez and his team of engineers worked to connect the shield generators to power sources. They used modified nuclear reactors combined with alien technology. Helen Wright double-checked every circuit. There could be no mistakes. "How strong are these shields?" Martin asked. "Stronger than anything we could build with just Earth technology," Amy replied. "The alien components make all the difference." At secret air bases, pilots prepared for something they'd trained for but never believed would happen. Jack Anderson ran final checks on his aircraft. The F-35 had been modified with alien technology. Better engines, stronger weapons, and shields of its own. "You ready for this?" asked his wingman Rachel Turner. "As ready as I'll ever be," Jack replied. "You? Let's show these aliens what humans can do." The world waited. News networks showed empty streets in major cities. But underground, in bunkers and hidden bases, humanity prepared. The silence that confused the Zarthal was actually the calm before a storm. On the 4th day, as Earth's sun rose over the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Elizabeth Morgan detected the Zarthal ships moving. They were done waiting. "General Hayes," she said over the secure line. "They're coming in fast. The invasion is starting." "Copy. That, Dr. Morgan. Initiate Operation Lighthouse. It's time to turn on the lights." Around the world, hidden shields, weapons, and defense systems came online. Earth was not the helpless planet the Zarthal expected. Humanity had spent 70 years preparing for this moment. The war for Earth was about to begin. The Zarthal ships entered Earth's atmosphere like falling stars. Vex 9 expected panic broadcasts from Earth. He expected desperate pleas for mercy. He expected what he had seen on 72 other worlds. Instead, he got nothing. Still silent. "Sir," his communication officer reported. "This is irregular," Vex 9 said. "No species has ever remained quiet during our approach. On Earth, people watched the alien ships enter their atmosphere. Some ran to shelters. Others stood on rooftops filming with their phones. But most people were busy. They had work to do." In Washington, D.C., President Michael Carter stood in the Situation Room. He was surrounded by military leaders and scientists. Everyone looked tense but determined. "General Hayes, status report," the president said. "Sir, our systems detected the alien ships the moment they crossed the lunar orbit. We have full tracking. Project Lighthouse is ready. All defense stations report green status." "Dr. Morgan, what about their weapons capabilities?" Elizabeth Morgan looked up from her tablet. "Their ships contain energy weapons similar to what we recovered from the Roswell incident, but our shields are designed specifically to counter this technology." The president nodded. "Good. No broadcasts, no negotiations. Let them come. We'll talk when they're ready to listen." Around the world, secret military bases hummed with activity. Soldiers checked equipment they had only seen in training. Scientists made final adjustments to weapons they had spent decades developing. Commander Jessica Rodriguez stood in the new control center beneath Colorado's mountains. She studied the three-dimensional display showing all Zarthal positions. Her team of strategists worked quietly beside her. "Look at their formation," she said to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Alex Morgan. "It's the same pattern from their other conquests. We studied their tactics for years. They haven't changed anything." "They think we're primitives," Alex replied. "They don't expect resistance." That's exactly what we want them to think. The Zarthal fleet spread across Earth's skies. They moved to positions over major cities. Their invasion doctrine was simple: show overwhelming force, demand surrender, then occupy. Vex 9 opened a channel to Earth. People of the third planet, your silence changes nothing. We will begin our demonstration now. Watch and understand your position. His words went out across all communication networks on Earth. Homes and shelters, people listened. Some were afraid, others were angry. But most remembered the instructions they had received. Stay calm. Trust the plan. The Zarthal chose Tokyo as their first demonstration target. 5 ships moved into position above the city. They charged their main weapons, energy rippling along their hulls. People in the streets pointed and gasped. Then something happened that made Vex 9's blood run cold. A wave of blue energy rose from Tokyo. It was like a giant dome, invisible until it touched the Zarthal ships. The alien weapons fired, hitting the shield with tremendous force. The blue energy absorbed every shot and sent it nowhere. What is that? Vex 9 demanded. His science officer checked her instruments. Unknown technology, sir. It's not just blocking our weapons. It's absorbing them. The same scene played out over New York, London, Beijing, and every other major city. Blue shields rose to protect Earth's population. The Zarthal fired again and again. Nothing got through. Inside the shield control room at Area 51, Dr. Amy Johnson watched her monitors. Shields at 92% capacity, they can fire all day, will still be here. Martin Rodriguez checked power levels. The reactors are stable. The alien components are working perfectly. In New York's Central Command bunker, General William Hayes watched the reports come in. No damage anywhere, no casualties. The shields held perfectly. Send a message to the fleet, he ordered. Tell them, your demonstration has been noted. Is there anything else you'd like to show us? The message reached Vex 9. His officers looked at each other nervously. No conquered race had ever spoken like this to the Zarthal Empire. Sir, should we increase firepower? An officer asked. No, Vex 9 said slowly. If they can block our standard weapons, they might block our heavy ones too. We need to understand what we're dealing with. The Zarthal began scanning Earth more carefully. What they found disturbed them. Energy signatures appeared everywhere. Underground installations, hidden reactors, technology that seemed impossible for a primitive world. Commander, the science officer reported, I'm detecting advanced shielding technology on their military aircraft. And, sir, they have space, ships. They can barely fly to their moon. These aren't their regular ships, sir. These are modified. They look like our old scout vessels from centuries ago. In the Cheyenne Mountain complex, Captain Ryan Blake prepared for launch. His fighter was unlike anything the public had ever seen. It looked like an F-35, but the resemblance ended there. Inside were systems harvested from crashed alien ships, improved by Earth's engineers. All systems green, he reported. Ready for launch. Hold position, Captain, came the response. We're still in Phase 1. Let them discover more. Across the Atlantic, in a hidden base in Scotland, pilot Catherine Wright ran through her own pre-flight checks. Her squadron of 12 modified fighters waited in underground hangars. Remember the training? She told her pilots. We know their tactics. We know their weaknesses. They don't know anything about us. The Zarthal continued their scans. Their equipment detected massive underground facilities. Communication networks far more advanced than expected. Industrial capacity that didn't match their intelligence reports. Sir, the communication officer said, I'm intercepting their military channels. Can you decode them? Yes, sir. Their encryption is actually quite sophisticated, but similar to patterns we've seen before. The Zarthal listened to Earth's military communications. What they heard confused them even more. Humans were talking about Phase 1 and Project Lighthouse. They mentioned shield efficiency and power output numbers. These weren't primitive warriors. These were organized, prepared defenders. Vex 9 called a strategy meeting. They have shields we can't penetrate. They have technology they shouldn't possess, and they're not afraid. His war council debated options. Some suggested immediate withdrawal. Others wanted to wait for the Imperial reinforcements. A few called for orbital bombardment. If we call for reinforcements, we admit failure, Vex 9 said. I have never failed in 72 conquests. I will not start now. Back on Earth, strategic planners watched the aliens carefully. In the control center, Jessica Rodriguez noticed something important. Look at their communication patterns, she said. They're confused. This isn't what they expected. What do you think they'll do next? Alex asked. They'll try to learn more. Right now, they're trying to understand us. They thought we were primitive. Now they know we're not. But they don't know how advanced we really are. In homes across the globe, families gathered to watch the standoff. News channels showed the alien ships hovering above cities. The beautiful blue shields protected every major population center. Children asked their parents if the aliens were bad guys. Parents tried to stay calm, remembering the emergency broadcasts. Have faith. Earth is protected. In small towns without shield coverage, communities organized. People in rural areas prepared fallback positions. Civil defense volunteers directed refugees to safer areas. Ordinary citizens became part of Earth's defense without even realizing it. In Chicago, grocery store owner Lisa Chen organized her neighborhood. She had set up an emergency response center in the school gymnasium. People brought food, medical supplies, and skills. A retired doctor offered medical knowledge. A ham radio enthusiast set up communication systems. We don't know what will happen, Lisa told her neighbors, but we'll face it together. At his home in Florida, retired teacher Frank Murphy gathered the young people from his neighborhood. He taught them how to read maps, use compasses, and find safe routes. His living room became a classroom for survival skills. The first day of the standoff ended with Earth still protected. The Zarthal, for the first time, withdrew to defensive positions above the planet. They needed to reassess. In the depths of space, monitoring stations on human colonies and research ships watched and waited. Not many knew about them. Even the Zarthal scanners hadn't detected these outposts yet. On Mars, the small research colony watched Earth through powerful telescopes. On the far side of the Moon, a secret military base prepared its own defenses. Humanity was more spread out than the Zarthal knew. Commander James Wilson looked at his small military team on the lunar base. If Earth calls for help, we'll be ready. The night side of Earth glowed with city lights. Above, alien ships tried to understand what they faced. Below, 7 billion humans waited to see what tomorrow would bring. In the Strategic Command Center, Jessica Rodriguez reviewed all data. She looked at satellite images showing the alien positions. She studied their communication intercepts. She smiled slightly. They're learning about us, she said to her team. But we already know everything about them. The second day would bring new challenges. But Earth had shown its first card, and the aliens were already beginning to wonder if they had made a terrible mistake. Dawn broke over Australia. Commander Vex 9 had waited long enough. He decided to use heavier weapons. The Zarthal would crack these shields like eggs. Prepare the plasma bombardment, he ordered. Target the largest shield area. Sir, are you certain? The plasma weapons can destroy continents. They needed to surrender. They chose defiance. Now they suffer consequences. The Zarthal ships charged their plasma weapons. The energy buildup was visible from Earth, glowing red at the tips of their ships. People watched through their windows. Some were afraid. Most were still. In the Global Defense Command Center, alarms buzzed. Plasma charge detected. An officer, reported General William Hayes, took a deep breath. Now we show them our real power. Activate Phase 2. All units weapons free. Jessica Rodriguez punched codes into her console. Releasing all limiters. Switching shields to attack mode. The alien flagship released its plasma blast toward Sydney. The massive energy beam struck the blue shield with terrible force. For a moment, it looked like the shield would break. Then something amazing happened. The shield didn't just block the plasma beam. It captured it. The energy swirled inside the shield dome, creating a brilliant light show. Then the shield sent the plasma, back not toward the ships but into space. Impossible, Vex 9 whispered. Their shields shouldn't be able to do that. On Earth, the counterattack began immediately. Hidden missile silos opened across continents. But these weren't nuclear missiles. These were something else entirely. Captain Jack Anderson sat in his fighter waiting in an underground hangar. All Ghost Squadron, this is Ghost Leader. Launch sequence initiated. Behind him, 50 modified fighters rose from hangars hidden in mountains and deserts. The aircraft looked strange, combining Earth design with alien technology. Their engines glowed with an unnatural blue light. In Nevada, Dr. Amy Johnson pressed a final button. Project Storm activated, sending fire control to all stations. Around the world, secret weapon stations came online. They had been hidden as regular buildings, factories, and government facilities. Now they revealed their true purpose. The Zarthal watched in shock as Earth launched its first attack. Thousands of hybrid missiles rose from the planet. They moved. In patterns no human weapon should achieve, they zigzagged. They suddenly changed direction, their speed kept increasing. Evasive maneuvers, Vex 9 ordered. But the missiles were too smart. They had alien tracking systems improved by human creativity. The first wave hit the Zarthal shields, weakening them. The second wave penetrated. Explosions blossomed around alien ships. For the first time in centuries, the Zarthal were the ones being attacked. Damage report, Vex 9 demanded. 7 ships destroyed, sir. 23 with shield damage. They're using our own technology against us. How is this possible, Commander? Jessica Rodriguez smiled as she watched the battle display. Phase 2 is going exactly as planned. Now for Phase 3. Earth's space fighters engaged the enemy. Captain Ryan Blake executed a maneuver he'd practiced countless times. His fighter moved in an impossible spiral, avoiding alien fire while targeting their weak points. Got one, shouted Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell over the radio. Her modified F-22 destroyed a Zarthal scout ship with alien energy weapons. In Britain, Wing Commander James Wilson led his squadron from their lunar base. All units engage from high orbit. Remember your training. The Zarthal found themselves fighting a three-dimensional battle. Earth had ships above, below, and around them. The planet they thought was primitive now showed space combat abilities that rivaled their own. On the ground, people cheered as they watched alien ships fall from the sky. The blue shields now allowed safely controlled debris to fall beyond city limits. Nothing threatened civilian populations. In Texas, retired General Christopher Black watched from his ranch. He remembered overseeing Project Revival 20 years ago. Back then, people thought he was crazy for insisting Earth needed off-world defense. Not so crazy now, he murmured, watching alien ships burn in the atmosphere. The Zarthal science officer ran desperate scans. Commander, their weapons. They're using our technology, but they've improved it. Improved? Impossible. We perfected these designs thousands of years ago. Look at the data, sir. They've made our engines more efficient. They've combined our shields with their nuclear technology. They've taken 70 years of research and made it better. Vex 9 felt something he hadn't experienced in his long life. Fear. Around Mars, Earth's secret cruisers revealed themselves. The Zarthal had never detected these ships because they looked like asteroids. Now they attacked from unexpected positions. Commander Patricia Adams commanded the UES Defiance, a cruiser built in secret shipyards. All batteries fire at will. Show them what Earth engineering can do. The battle expanded across the solar system. Zarthal ships tried to retreat toward Jupiter, but Earth ships were faster. The modified engines pushed ships to speeds that amazed even their pilots. Back on Earth, ordinary heroes emerged. In Seattle, power plant manager William Torres kept the shield generators running through Zarthal bombardment. In Mumbai, communications expert Priya Patel maintained networks that coordinated global defense. Children in schools followed emergency drills. Teachers like Maria Gonzalez in Phoenix kept their students calm. Remember what we practiced. Earth will protect us. The Zarthal attempted a coordinated assault on Los Angeles. 20 ships targeted the city simultaneously. The shield absorbed 19 attacks perfectly. The 20th blast hit a weak point. "Shield breach," someone shouted in the command center. The alien plasma broke through, heading for downtown LA. People watched in horror as the energy beam descended. Then, something remarkable happened. The city's backup shield activated. This one was different. Instead of blue, it glowed green. It didn't just stop the plasma, it erased it completely. What was that? Martin Rodriguez demanded. Amy Johnson smiled, proudly. Project Phoenix, if any shield fails, the backup doesn't just protect, it eliminates the threat. The green shield pulse traveled upward along the plasma beam. It reached the Zarthal ship and overloaded its systems. The ship fell from the sky, powerless. This new development broke Zarthal morale. Their weapons couldn't penetrate the blue shields. When they did, the green shields made their attacks disappear. "Sir," the war chief said to Vex 9, "we cannot win this battle. We should consider retreat." Retreat? The Zarthal Empire has never retreated. We have never faced defenders like these. Around Saturn, the final space battle raged. Captain Rebecca Hayes commanded the UES Horizon, engaging 3 Zarthal battleships. Her crew included the best humanity had to offer, trained in secret for decades. "Target their power cores," she ordered. "Use the quantum torpedoes." The torpedoes were another surprise. Combining alien tech with human innovation, they phased through shields before exploding. Each hit crippled an enemy ship. On Earth, people began celebrating prematurely. But military leaders knew the fight wasn't over. In underground bunkers, pilots prepared for extended combat. Mechanics worked non-stop to rearm fighters. Medical teams waited to treat the wounded. General Hayes studied the battle reports. "We've destroyed 40% of their fleet, but they still have hundreds of ships." "Then we keep fighting," Jessica Rodriguez said. "We trained for this. We're ready." The Zarthal tried one final tactic. They combined their remaining ships for a massive planet-killer attack. No shield in the galaxy could stop their ultimate weapon. Vex 9 made his last command decision. "Prepare the Star Killer. We end this now." Earth's sensors detected the buildup. The energy levels were astronomical. Every shield on the planet began to strain. "They're pulling power from their own sun," Amy Johnson reported. "This is going to be big." "Do we have anything for this?" the president asked. "Yes, sir. Activate Project Last Light." High above Earth, a massive space station uncloaked. It had been hidden for 30 years, disguised as space debris. Now it revealed its true purpose. The station fired a beam of concentrated energy toward the alien fleet. It didn't look impressive compared to the Zarthal weapon, but it carried something special, a virus designed specifically for alien technology. The beam hit the alien ships. Systems started failing across the Zarthal fleet. Their combined attack weapon faltered, then shut down completely. No. Vex 9 watched helplessly as his ships lost power one by one. The space station signaled Earth. Virus deployment successful. Enemy fleet disabled. Around the world, humans cheered, but the leaders knew this was just the beginning. They had won one battle, but was the war over? In the aftermath, damaged Zarthal ships drifted in Earth's orbit. Some still had crew aboard, some were completely empty. Earth's forces moved carefully to secure them. Captain Michelle Green led the boarding teams. Search every ship, take prisoners if possible, download all data. The secrets they would find would change everything again. The Zarthal Empire was bigger than anyone knew, and now they knew where Earth was. But as the sun set on battle-scarred skies, one thing was clear. Humanity was no longer the helpless race the universe thought they were. In space, automated alien probes transmitted the battle data back toward the Zarthal homeworlds. The Empire would soon learn what happened to their mighty fleet, and across the galaxy, other species monitoring Earth space detected the signals too. The morning after brought eerie silence. Damaged Zarthal ships floated in Earth's orbit like broken toys. But Commander Vex 9 still had over 500 ships. He would not surrender. In the White House Situation Room, President Michael Carter addressed his military leaders. "They're regrouping. What's our next move?" General Hayes spread a holographic map of space. "We've disabled their main attack formation. Now we take the offensive. Operation Reversal begins immediately." Around the world, Earth's hidden fleets prepared to launch. The days of defense were over. Now came the hunt. Captain Ryan Blake received new orders at his Nevada base. "All Ghost. Squadron pilots report for briefing. We're going on a hunting trip." In the briefing room, Commander Jessica Rodriguez outlined their mission. "The Zarthal fleet is broken into 3 groups. We'll hit them one by one while they're weakened." Fighter pilot Sarah Chen raised her hand. "Ma'am, how do we know their positions?" Jessica smiled. "We've been tracking them for weeks. Our moon base has perfect spotting capability. Nothing escapes our sensors now." The truth was, Earth had been preparing for this exact scenario for decades. Every crash-landed alien probe had been studied, every system reverse-engineered, every weakness documented in Australia. The UES Nexus prepared for launch. The massive carrier ship held 50 fighters and enough supplies for months of space combat. Captain David Wright commanded the first interstellar force Earth had ever assembled. "Set course for their nearest group," he ordered. "We end this threat, permanently." The Zarthal detected Earth ships approaching. For the first time, they faced an enemy that chose to fight in space rather than hide behind planetary shields. Vex 9 tried to organize his scattered fleet. "Form defensive lines. Prepare for human attack patterns," but Earth's strategy was already working. Commander Jessica Rodriguez had studied the Zarthal military doctrine completely. She knew their formations, their battle tactics, their communication codes. "They always form triangle patterns when defending," she explained to her strike team. "We attack from all sides simultaneously. They can't defend everything at once." The first battle near the moon proved devastating for the Zarthal. Earth's ships struck like wolves hunting prey. They didn't fight fair. They used asteroids for cover. They lured enemy ships into ambushes. They employed tactics the Zarthal had never encountered. Lieutenant Emily Santos piloted her interceptor through an asteroid field. "Dragon 7 to control. I've got 3 bogies chasing me." "Dragon 7, lead them through Sector 4. We have a surprise waiting." Emily dove between tumbling rocks. The Zarthal ships followed, firing wildly. When they emerged on the other side, a dozen Earth fighters surrounded them. "Surprise," Emily whispered, firing her weapons. Back on Earth, people watched the battle through news feeds. For the first time, humanity saw their warriors fighting among the stars. Morale soared to unprecedented heights. In New York, Daniel Cooper organized civilian support networks. The former military sergeant formed teams to support families of service members. "Our people are fighting up there. We need to keep the home fires burning." Children drew pictures of Earth ships shooting alien invaders. Elderly veterans who remembered World War II and Korea said they'd never seen such unity. The entire planet united behind one purpose: defending their home. The second major engagement happened near Mars. The Zarthal regrouped with 200 ships planning a counterattack on Earth. They didn't know Earth's orbital defense ring was fully operational. Hidden satellites activated. Massive railguns emerged from concealment. Energy cannons charged with power. The Zarthal flew into a trap. "All weapons fire at will," commanded General Hayes from Cheyenne Mountain. The space around Mars lit up with weapons fire. The Zarthal, caught unprepared, lost 50 ships in minutes. Their confident advance became a desperate retreat. On the lunar base, Commander James Wilson coordinated the pursuit. "Don't let them escape. Cut off their retreat path." Earth's modified destroyers moved faster than Zarthal ships. The aliens had superior technology, but humans had improved it. What took them thousands of years to develop, Earth mastered and enhanced in 70. During a brief lull, captured Zarthal officers were interrogated. The senior science officer revealed amazing information to Dr. Elizabeth Morgan. "How did you do it?" the alien asked. "How did a primitive species defeat the Sao Empire?" Elizabeth smiled. You made assumptions. You thought we were primitive because we broadcast simple signals. You didn't expect us to listen to yours. What do you mean? We intercepted your scout probes decades ago. We've been studying your technology. While you ignored us, you were hunting, but we were learning. The Zarthal's greatest advantage became their downfall. Their arrogance prevented them from considering Earth might be studying them. As fighting continued, Earth discovered more alien capabilities. The Zarthal ships carried teleporter technology. Their armor regenerated damage. They had cloaking fields, but every advantage had a weakness. Human engineers found them all. Sarah Mitchell figured out how to disrupt teleporters. Captain Robin Hayes discovered armor weak points. The XO Ryan Fisher developed sensors that pierced cloaking fields. The tide of battle turned completely. Vex 9's fleet dwindled daily. His officers began questioning his leadership. Commander, his second-in-command said privately, we cannot win this battle. Perhaps retreat isn't shameful when facing such an enemy. They are humans, Vex 9 snarled. We are the Zarthal Empire. But fear crept into his voice. Earth's strategy evolved beyond simple combat. Special operations teams led by Captain Michelle Green began boarding disabled Zarthal ships. They gathered intelligence and studied alien computing systems. Look at this, technician Kevin Peterson showed his team. Their quantum processors are amazing, but they have no creativity in their programming. Everything is rigid, predictable. Human programmers found they could outthink alien computers. Earth's artificial intelligence, developed independently, proved superior to Zarthal systems because it could adapt and innovate. The battle for Earth's solar system became a classroom. Every engagement taught humanity more about space warfare. Pilots discovered they could outmaneuver alien ships through creative flying. Gunners found they could predict enemy movement patterns. Sergeant Daniel Cooper, now commanding a Marine unit, led assaults on captured ships. These aliens were fighting by a manual. We're writing our own book. In space, battles became more complex. Earth's carrier groups worked in perfect coordination. Fighters provided screening. Destroyers delivered main firepower. Cruisers handled heavy combat. The Zarthal, trained for overwhelming force tactics, struggled against Earth's flexibility. Human commanders changed strategies mid-battle. They adapted to new situations. They invented tactics the Zarthal couldn't counter. They fight like water, the war chief reported to Vex 9. They change form constantly. We cannot match this. Earth even began taking alien technology in the middle of battle. Engineering teams boarded damaged ships and stripped useful equipment. Within days, Earth vessels sported Zarthal shields alongside human weapons. The most remarkable discovery came when Earth's forces cornered a Zarthal supply convoy. Inside the transport ships, they found the real prize: alien manufacturing technology. Amy Johnson examined the devices eagerly. This is incredible. They can fabricate entire ship systems from raw materials. If we can understand this. Understanding came quickly. Human scientists and engineers, working with the pressure of war, solved in weeks what took the Zarthal centuries to develop. As Earth's industrial capabilities expanded exponentially, more ships rolled out from secret shipyards. Each new vessel incorporated the latest alien technology with human improvements. The final push began 2 weeks after the first battle. Earth commanded over 300 ships now, many featuring hybrid technology. The Zarthal fleet, once mighty at 1,500 ships, had less than 200 operational vessels. This is Admiral Carter to all units, the newly promoted Jessica Rodriguez broadcast. We have them surrounded. Prepare for final assault. The remaining Zarthal ships gathered near Jupiter, making their last stand. Vex 9 broadcast one final message. To the humans of Earth, you have shown unexpected strength. Perhaps we could negotiate surrender terms. The silence that followed made Vex 9 nervous. Then Earth responded. You gave us 1 day to surrender, completely. We gave you 2 weeks of chances to withdraw. Negotiations are closed. The final battle lasted 6 hours. Earth's ships, fighting with the desperate determination of those defending their home, overwhelmed the Zarthal positions. One by one, alien ships fell silent, their crews captured or their vessels destroyed. As the sun set on another Earth day, only scattered Zarthal remnants remained. They fled toward deep space, carrying the news of their defeat. On Earth, celebrations broke out. Humanity had faced extinction and won, but military leaders knew the greater challenge lay ahead. In the war room, President Carter addressed his council. "We've won this battle, but the Zarthal Empire still exists out there. Are we prepared for what comes next?" The answer came from an unexpected source. A broadcast arrived from the direction of the fleeing Zarthal ships. It was Vex 9's final message, sent to his empire's distant worlds. Earth's codebreakers translated it quickly. What they read sent chills through the command center. The last Zarthal ships gathered at the edge of Earth's solar system. Commander Vex 9 faced an impossible choice: return home in defeat, or, "Sir," his second officer spoke quietly, "the Empire will not forgive this failure. They will send us to the labor mines. Our families will lose honor." Vex 9 looked at his remaining 40 ships. Each carried proof of humanity's power: battle recordings, technology scans, military analysis. "There is another option," he said slowly. The crew understood. They had all heard the ancient Zarthal oath: better silence than dishonor. Captain Ryan Blake watched from his fighter as the alien ships moved into formation. "Something's happening." All ships maintained position. The Zarthal vessels activated their self-destruct sequences. One by one, they disappeared in silent explosions. Vex 9's flagship was last. His final transmission reached Earth. "We found something unexpected. Records deleted. Coordinates erased. The silence protects the Empire, but remember, we chose this. Your species makes beings choose between death and dishonor." Then silence fell. Across the galaxy, Zarthal outposts noticed the communication blackout. When ships sent to investigate disappeared too, panic spread. The mighty Fifth Fleet had vanished completely. On Earth, Dr. Elizabeth Morgan decoded intercepted alien messages. "It's working. They think the fleet just disappeared, no survivors, no evidence of defeat. Other alien species monitoring the region detected something unusual: battle debris, strange energy readings, but no explanations. Whispers spread among spacefaring races. What happened to the Zarthal?" They went to investigate a primitive world, and then nothing. Complete silence. The mystery grew. Alien traders avoided Earth's section of space. Pirates marked it as dangerous territory. Even Zarthal allies hesitated to approach. 6 months later, Earth's xenolinguist Christine Baker intercepted communications from multiple alien governments. The topic: Earth. We detected massive energy signatures. Our probes vanished near their system. The Zarthal never returned. Perhaps we should investigate. No. Better to avoid. Something about that region. It's different now. On Earth, President Michael Carter addressed the world. "We have successfully defended our planet. But more importantly, we've shown the universe what humanity can achieve when united." Military leaders built on their victory. Hidden shipyards expanded production. New defense stations appeared throughout the solar system. Captured Zarthal technology improved Earth's capabilities daily. But the greatest change wasn't military. Humanity had discovered its place in the cosmos. Children grew up knowing aliens existed. Scientists accelerated space technology research. Engineers pushed boundaries previously thought impossible. The world united under one purpose: preparing for contact with the stars. 1 year after the battle, long-range sensors detected a new signal. First contact from a different species. The Kavath Collective sent a peaceful message. "Greetings from the Kavath. We understand you have successfully defended your world. We seek trade and knowledge exchange. We respect your sovereignty." The universe had learned. Earth wasn't prey anymore. As humanity expanded into space, other races kept their distance. They observed, they learned, they respected. The name Earth became synonymous with dangerous in many languages. Some species sought alliance, others avoided contact entirely. All remembered the strange tale of the Zarthal Fifth Fleet that entered an unknown system and never returned. In the depths of space, automated ships continued searching for signs of the lost fleet. They found only silence. The Zarthal Empire marked the sector as unexplored on their maps. Future generations would forget their ancestors ever went there. Earth had earned its independence the hard way, through preparation, through sacrifice, through the unified will of an entire species. 10 years later, children played with toys of Earthships. Stories spread of the Great Battle. Museums displayed captured alien technology. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars. The galaxy had changed, and in that change, Earth had found not just survival but respect.